just read one of the most gut-wrenching articles that it was honestly almost impossible to get through. I couldn't even imagine living through it. A Yazidi woman was taken as a sex slave by an ISIS terrorist, and during this time, they forcibly removed her 1-year-old son from her. After not feeding her for 3 days, so this woman is starving, they cooked her son, her infant son, and fed him to her without her knowing. After she had finished the meal, that's when they told her what they had actually just given her. And there's not going to be justice. Nobody's going to go out there in the streets screaming and crying for her. There's not going to be an encampment. No one's going to sit there and cry about what about the humanity, because as we've learned time and time again, no Jews, no news. They don't care. They don't care about what's been happening to the Yazidi people or the fact that a runaway from there was found in Gaza after she was transported there to be used by the Hamas fighters, right? Nobody's going to talk about that. Nobody's going to talk about what the Muslim Brotherhood is doing in Bangladesh to the Hindus. Mind you, the Muslim Brotherhood is exactly the group that radicalized Hamas and works closely with the Palestine Islamic Jihad, which is Hamas's right-hand group. You're not going to talk about that because you don't care. You don't care about humanity. You care about finding a way to make your anti-Semitism politically correct. And unfortunately, you've succeeded. People are so brainwashed that all they could see when they see Jewish people is they think white. And they think white equals bad. White equals oppressor. They can't understand any nuance. They don't know how to do any iota of basic research. So they just take the word of Twitter experts as gospel. It's actually the most astonishing thing I've ever seen. And all of these people who have been screaming for the longest time that this has nothing to do with Jewish people and they're just bleeding heart activists, but they're silent on this, you need to seriously reevaluate what you're doing and why, because I promise you, you are not as pure of heart as you are trying to pretend to be. It's actually disgusting, right? And I don't care who gets mad at me for saying this. You go to the Vatican and you're not Catholic, you know what's going to happen to you? Nothing. Nobody's going to kill you. Nobody's going to enslave you. Nothing is going to happen to you. You go to America, right? That was founded as a Christian country. You go and you mock Christianity. You know what happens to you? Nothing. You'll probably actually get a lot of likes on TikTok for doing it. You go to Israel, the only Jewish country. You sit there, you say that you're an atheist. You say you're a Muslim. You say you're a Christian. You know what happens to you? Nothing. Because these people are not unhinged. But I want you to go around and look at the countries where you're not allowed to criticize religion. Look at what religion they always are. Look at the human rights abuses track record. And then ask yourself why you're not speaking about that, because I'll tell you why. It doesn't fit your agenda.